I have a little bit of housekeeping to do because there was some footage I missed out from the Saturday afternoon session. In other words, just the previous session of the convention. You may recall, if you watched that rebuttal, there was a point where I commented that it looked like the JW Stream footage of the convention had been edited. JW Stream is essentially the way that Jehovah's Witnesses can watch a convention if they're not able, for whatever reason, to attend in person. And for a particular talk on shunning, I commented that it looked like parts had been clipped out. And some of you who were watching, who were eagle-eyed and who have their finger on the button, perhaps way more than I do, pointed out that there were indeed missing videos that had been clipped out of this footage. So I've decided to revisit those clips.
Mom's disfellowshipping still feels so raw.
Elsa, please speak up. I miss you so much. I just want to hear your voice.
It's such a struggle. I miss her. She taught me the truth, gave me a stable life. She was my closest friend. What's the harm in just calling once in a while? To chat. Maybe I can even help her to come back to Jehovah.
Right, well, already I'm starting to see why this was cut from the convention, and to be clear, you're getting my very first reaction. I've saved it in such a way that I actually haven't watched it right up until filming, which is very unusual for rebuttals. I wanted to give a raw, sort of authentic reaction to something I knew would be grotesque, and it really, well, it was grotesque. It was also fairly realistic in showing the extent of shunning as practiced by Jehovah's Witnesses. This, by the way, is a video that got shown during the, again, Saturday afternoon session of the Exercise Patience 2023 Convention of Jehovah's Witnesses. In my initial rebuttal, which you can watch in Sushi 589, titled Jehovah's Witnesses Who Failed to Shun Slammed as Haughty, Corey Wadlington from the Wallkill, New York Bethel facility made exactly that argument in the talk, Better to be Patient Than to be Haughty in Spirit, Imitate Abel, Not Adam. And for whatever reason, it seems that the video that we've just seen, along with the follow-up video that we're about to watch, were cut from the spiritual food of Jehovah's Witnesses, supplied by the faithful slave. I don't know to what extent the videos have subsequently been shown at regular conventions. I don't know whether it's just the JW stream that got tampered with for surreptitious reasons. Perhaps if you're watching this and you attended one of these conventions in person, you can comment below as to whether you saw this video flash up on the main screen for everyone to watch. It says a lot, doesn't it, that this is an organization that resorts to such shady tactics. I mean, if the disfellowshipping teaching, if the shunning policy is right and proper and God's command, why aren't they proud of it? Why have they cut it from their JW stream version of the convention? You'd think they'd be proud of it if it's something that's truly God's command, something that sets the organization apart as being pure and true. But no, they've got to shuffle things around and create a different version of the convention for those who cannot attend in person. Some have speculated as to the reasons why these videos have been cut from the convention, some suggesting that the proximity of these videos disappearing to a documentary that aired on Channel 4 in the UK by the celebrity Rebecca Vardy. Some have said that's no coincidence. It must have been a reaction to the documentary being aired. I mean, possibly. As far as I can tell, the organisation responds less to criticism it receives in the media, be it through documentaries or news reports, and more to legal pressure, more to scrutiny by government agencies. It would be a little bit unlike the organisation to water down their message in response to any media backlash. But who knows? I mean, maybe one day we'll interview someone, or we'll have someone who can explain why exactly these videos were cut. But we're only halfway through. We've seen this young woman being exemplary in shunning her mother, even though she's conflicted, even though you can tell she really wants to be able to just do something as simple and innocent as have a conversation with her mother again. We're now going to watch the second part.
Abel was essentially a spiritual orphan, but regardless of what his parents chose, he listened to Jehovah and patiently waited on him to fulfill his promises.
I never thought of it that way. What has Jehovah promised me if I patiently wait? Spiritual brothers? Sisters? And mothers. If I focus on what I do have and wait patiently, someday what I don't have may even come back to Jehovah.
What vile propaganda that was. Yeah, having seen it, the more I think about it, the more I'm thinking, yeah, I can see exactly why they have, again, surreptitiously cut this out from their JW stream. It's the sort of propaganda that sounds good when they're pitching it around the table in one of their writing committee or teaching committee meetings. Hey, we should do a video about this. And, when you're talking purely among those who have been indoctrinated to accept this vile behavior as normal, maybe it sounds okay, maybe it makes sense when you're filming it and you're doing the scene, you're filming the scene and all that kind of thing. But you're basing your judgment on a policy, on a teaching that is, when seen from the outside, abusive and toxic. And maybe it just got to the point where even after the ship had sailed, with regards to getting the convention materials out and, you know, putting this in all of the convention talks, maybe they just reached a point where the backlash, even among Jehovah's Witnesses, perhaps who were themselves shunning or being forced to shun family members, was just a bit too much. The reality of the message itself was just so vile and so disgusting that they had to manage things. They had to do some damage limitation and amend their spiritual food, change the menu of their spiritual food right after starting to serve the spiritual food, to make the spiritual food a little bit less detestable.